is Tracy Moore. I am a County Engagement Specialist with the University of Missouri Extension. I am headquartered in Sheridan County, but also cover Saline and Carroll counties as well. If you're new to doing this, Missouri 4-H has been trying to post about an activity a day, or at least Monday through Friday at 3:30, since some of us are working from home or out of school. And while you're at home, don't forget about Fido. Some things that you could do with your dog while you have some downtime would be you could help him brush up on some of those obedience skills, maybe teach him or her a new trick, or like what we're going to do today, make some dog treats. A lot of us are trying to stay away from those public places that might be a good gathering of people around, so you might not want to run out to the store, pet store, or wherever it is you might get your dog treats from. So how about making them from home? One thing I like about this recipe is it only calls for 4 ingredients, and we'll go over those here in a little bit, and I'll give you a little time to run and grab those if you don't have those around you already. But the first step is you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm kind of a step ahead as we had something in the oven earlier, so my oven is actually already warmed up. Some other things that you're going to need while you're out are a rolling pin, so we can flatten out our dough here in a little bit, a cookie cutter or 2, or I like to just use a small lid off of a jar, 2 eggs, a half a cup of peanut butter. Yes, this is a half a cup. I'm sure it looks like it's a full cup from where you're at, but it's a half a cup. About 1/4 cup of water, and 2 cups of flour. So I'll give you guys a little bit to go gather the stuff up. Don't forget to grab a bowl and maybe a spoon or so too while you're there. And then we'll join back in and we will start making some dog biscuits or dog treats. While some are gathering their stuff, I'll just tell a little bit of my experiences that I've had with dogs. I have been around dogs all my life. I grew up with a mother that raised dogs. Boxers were her favorite breed. When I got old enough to join 4-H myself, my friend and I talked my parents into letting me join, and of course, dogs was one of my project areas I took. From there, when I got a little older and graduated out of 4-H, I became a dog project leader. So I got to help kids learn teach their dog obedience skills and skills such as making these dog treats. Nowadays, I have 2 girls of my own that are big enough to be in 4-H and taking dogs too, so we will see where that takes them. Right now, we also have 3 dogs at home. We have a golden retriever, a sheltie, and a black lab, so we have quite an array of breeds at our house. 2 are registered, 1 are not. I also did a little time showing in the American Pet Registry shows, not a whole lot, wouldn't call myself a professional at that, but I did do a little, and now we are just back to seeing what my daughters have planned for their future with dogs. Okay, so that should have given you guys a little bit of time to go gather some ingredients so we can move on with our dog treats making. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put 2 cups of your flour in your bowl. I have removed all labels from my ingredients, so I'm not promoting or advertising for any certain company or brand. I don't think it much matters what kind of flour, eggs, or peanut butter you use. Add our eggs. Remember, 2 eggs. Watch out for those shells. The fun part, the old sticky peanut butter. And again, if you are allergic to peanut butter, this might not be the recipe for you, but there are lots of different recipes out there for dog treats and dog biscuits. And you might even be able to supplement or whatever you supplement your peanut butter for. We're going to kind of mix that up a bit, help break our eggs up. And then we're going to slowly add a little bit of water at a time. I said about a fourth. We may need a little more, we may need a little less. We'll just kind of have to see with our humidity and stuff today. Ultimately, you want to form a nice dough because again, we're going to roll it out so we can cut out our biscuits just like we would cookies. Looks like we're getting there. Maybe need just a bit more. Maybe if you have a favorite recipe that you've already tried or used with your dogs, maybe you could share that with the group. All right. Hopefully everybody has washed your hands like you're supposed to before you do any kind of cooking in the kitchen. Okay, now let's clean off my little table so I have room to bring up my big cutting board that I'm going to use to roll out our cookie dough or our biscuit dough. You might want to put a little flour down on your hard surface or wherever you're going to roll out your dough to help keep it from your dough from sticking. Roll a little flour on your rolling pin, maybe a little on your fingertips. Grab your dough. The fun part of smashing it out and rolling them out some. Now these do not raise a whole bunch in the oven. So you want to kind of think about how thick you want your dog biscuits or dog treats, whatever you call them. One thing to remember is that these are dog treats. These are not to be used as a full food source for your dog. And the cool thing is that unless you're allergic to peanut butter, there is nothing in here that would hurt you if you want to try them. I would say they would probably be similar to a peanut butter cookie. All right, so now I take my lid or your cookie cutter, whatever you have that you want to use, and just kind of cut out a few to fill your pan. Okay, now we will take our pan. I think we have plenty to fill. I am using an air bake cookie sheet, so if you're using something like this, you don't have to spray it. If you're using a normal cookie sheet, you might want to spray a little cooking spray on it to keep your cookies from sticking too hard for when you take them out of the oven. So you just want to put them on there just like a normal cookie. And I do have a tendency to call them cookies because they look so much like them. Once you get your cookie sheet loaded with your dog biscuits, you can, again, put them in the oven. Once your oven is preheated to 350, you want to put them in for about 15 minutes. So they can bake right up. All right, here we go. And I will set my kitchen timer for 15 minutes. So once you have those in, you'll probably have some dough still. So you can roll it back out, ball it back up, and then roll it back out, and you can fill another cookie sheet. Or when your batch that's in the oven is done, you can put another set in until you're all out of dough. So that's how you can make one round of dog treats. That should get you for a few days. There are many people that like to, again, train dogs, and there's different ways to do that. Some like to take the more alpha approach and be more like the dominant one of the relationship. Some people like to use clickers, and some people like to use dog treats to train with. I would say it's kind of whatever fits your personality and your dog's personality of what method you use. I mean, even if you don't use treats to train, sometimes it's fun just to give your pet some treats. So another topic that we can kind of talk about for just a little bit are dog collars. Let's set this aside. If you do think about any kind of dog training, this one here is just a normal collar that you might see at your pet store or Walmart or anywhere that has a pet department. It has just a normal, what I call a belt buckle on it. Some of them have a snap. These are the ones that you usually see people taking out for a leisurely walk with, or you leave on your dog majority of the time. So to fit a dog collar like this, when you put it on your dog, you want somewhere around 2 or 3 fingers in between the collar and your dog. You don't want them too loose where they can get a foot or something stuck in there, but you don't want them too tight where it's going to harm the way your dog's breathing. Or they can also rub off some hair too if you have a long-haired dog, or for that matter, a short-haired dog. This here is a chain collar, also called a choke collar or a choke chain. These are definitely just to be used for training. These are not to be collars to be left on your dog, and there are right and wrong ways to put these on. So if you want to use one of those, I highly suggest working with somebody that knows how to use these. Maybe if you are a 4-H member and you are in dogs, check with your dog project leader, or check with, again, your pet store to see if they know of someone that can help you with training your dog. But to put these on, you just take them, you drop one end down in to make a loop. So if your dog's on your left side, my arm's my dog, I slip it over his head just like that. And I hook my leash to this part where it kind of tightens. Now, when they tighten, you want to make sure that if you pull on it, it will loosen back up. So when that is done right, your loop is actually up. See how your circle is kind of up? It's facing up. Whereas if I turn it over and it's down, see how it's down and the chain comes across the bottom instead? When they're like that, they don't loosen. And this is when it kind of gets to be could be a little on the dangerous side, because it could end up choking your dog and actually really choking him. So make sure if you're going to use one of these, check with someone that knows how to use them, and make sure that they are always on properly so you don't harm your dog. The last one I'll talk about is a show lead. So if you've ever watched a dog show on TV, you've probably seen them use something similar to this. So your dog's head will go in here and it goes right up behind his ears or hers. And you slide it down to where it needs to be. You want it kind of snug, but again, not to where it'll choke him. And right up behind his ears again. So we have him like this. And then he trots around the ring that you see on TV. So most of the time, for our leisure dogs, this is the type of collar that you should probably have on your dog. If you keep a collar on your dog, this is the type to go for, is something like this. Okay. All right. Well, we still have about 10 minutes left for our cookies, dog treats, dog biscuits, whichever you want to call them. But I think that you guys can handle it from here. The last thing would be to take them out when your buzzer or your dog biscuits go off. Thank you for joining us today, and hopefully you'll see us again tomorrow, 3:30, for another activity for you to do while you're at home.